I don't think it's happened yet, and all we have to go on is rumors and leaks, but they say that Donald Trump, the former U.S. president, could be arrested at any moment. In fact, today was supposed to be that day. Now, it's all just leaks and speculation, but it appears to be serious enough that the various law enforcement agencies at hand are meeting each other. I mean, you've got Donald Trump's Secret Service detail, as all ex-presidents have, that's armed and on 24-hour duty to protect him from anything and everything, including terrorism, kidnapping, revenge, just even ordinary crimes. So he's really got this personal police detachment with him with serious counterterrorism training. So how does Police Force A arrest a man protected by Police Force B? And for what, by the way? Stormy Daniels, and whether or not Trump gave her a payment to hush up something that he did do or didn't do, but she said he would do. That whole thing is being litigated to death. In fact, litigation, she had to pay Donald Trump hundreds of thousands of dollars after their court battle. Stormy Daniels' lawyer, Michael Alvin, is in prison right now. I remember when the left said he was going to be the candidate for the Democrats in 2020 and beat Trump. So it's hard to imagine that that would be the crime that would cause the former president to be arrested, handcuffed, jailed, and prosecuted, especially by the New York City District Attorney, given the skyrocketing crime in that city. I mean, if we're suddenly going to prosecute crimes, really? The Stormy Daniels stuff? Not actual political crimes like Hillary Clinton destroying tens of thousands of documents, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, who was running the Clinton Foundation when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, steering hundreds of millions of dollars of donations from countries she was making decisions about as Secretary of State. Those countries would pay money to the Clinton Foundation. No charges there, no investigations, no raids on their homes, only a raid on Mar-a-Lago. How about Hunter Biden? The crimes that you can see him committing in his own selfie videos in his laptop. Or forget about Hunter. He's not actually a politician. He's just a gateway to his father, the big guy, Joe Biden. As we mentioned on our live stream the other day, Democrats and Republicans alike see that $1 million, records of $1 million paid to a Biden family member. Why? For what? And Biden just simply denies it. No investigation. It's just Trump that obsesses the left. You know, in many other countries, sitting politicians, sitting legislators are immune from criminal prosecution. Now, whenever I heard of that, I always thought it was a terrible idea. I always thought it obviously encouraged corruption. If being a politician meant you got to get out of jail free card, you could never be criminalized for what you do, then surely criminals would all want to become politicians. How would you ever root it out? But I now see the logic of that in a corrupt country. It's a logic that only works in banana republics where charges against political leaders are trumped up and used for political gain. I don't know if you saw, but the Oscar for foreign documentary called Navalny. Navalny is the name of a Russian opposition leader to Putin who was charged with corruption. I think he's in jail right now. That's the kind of thing that countries, authoritarian regimes with bully rulers do. They arrest and trump up charges against their critics. But that's what's allegedly, purportedly, reportedly going to happen in the United States, maybe even today. At whose direction? Well, the District Attorney of New York County, really the DA of Manhattan, this guy, Alvin Bragg. You've never heard of him before? Don't feel bad. Most people haven't. He was elected district attorney. They do that in the States. They vote for their prosecutors, and he won. And typically we hear of sheriffs or prosecutors running on a tough-on-crime platform, a hang-em-high platform, but not on the Democrat side in the U.S., not in the blue states. They run on the opposite. They run on sanctuary cities. They run on, for example, not charging anyone if they are shoplifting less than $1,000, not getting involved at all. It's insane, the race to the left is the opposite of tough on crime. And this guy, this DA, won the Democratic Party primary for being the DA with just 85,000 votes. Really, if you're in New York City, you know the Democrat's going to win. So it's Democrat versus Democrat. He just squeaked by his competitor in the primary, who had 77,000 votes. So just by a 10,000 vote margin with fewer than 100,000 votes altogether. Oh, but he had something going for him. $1 million from George Soros. Of course, we have to find out about that, as we often do, in the UK press. As I say, crime is way up in New York City. Small crime, petty crime, big crime, racial crime, crimes against Jews, crimes against shopkeepers. I didn't know this, but it was this DA who made the atrocious decisions in the Jose Alba matter that we covered. Jose Alba was a shopkeeper, and he was attacked in his shop, and he defended himself, and in the tussle, he killed his attacker in self-defense. Bragg wanted to throw the book at Jose Alba, demanded $500,000 bail. He couldn't come up with that money. The judge lowered it to $250,000. The attacker's accomplice, his girlfriend, also stabbed Jose Alba, the shopkeeper, but no charges against her. That DA that would throw a shopkeeper to the wolves and free his attackers, that is the Soros DA coming for Trump. And it's brilliant. I mean, think about it, $1 million for a DA in New York City. That's a bargain at twice the price. Certainly easier and cheaper than beating Trump in 2016 or in 2024. And you know what? It divides the United States against itself. It demoralizes half the country and teaches the other half that you can game the system and have an inside job. It makes conservatives, the worst part, it makes conservatives lose respect for law and order and police and prosecutors and the rule of law. And that is a huge win for the left too. Demoralize half of America, the law and order half, the support the cops, back the blue half, turn them against their institutions, just like they turn them against their institutions in football with the take a knee. You know, there is no justice anymore for conservatives or Republicans in blue counties. This is what happens. Now, will the red counties, will the Republicans respond in kind? Will they prosecute Hillary Clinton or Obama or any leftists for their crimes? Well, we know the answer to that. They will not. We know that because they did not. Even Trump himself didn't use the power of the prosecutor to go after not just his enemies, but those enemies committing crimes. That was an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. I'm Ezra Levant. Every weekday, I do a monologue about the topic of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest, either in studio or via Skype. And then I read your mail, whether it's fan mail or hate mail, which is sometimes even more interesting. This is on our premium service, though, called Rebel News Plus. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. It's $8 a month or less if you buy a whole year in advance. You get my show every weeknight, plus Sheila Gunn Reid's show every week. It's called The Gun Show. It's pretty amazing. You know, we rely on you because we do not take a dime from the government. In Canada, that makes us almost unique. So please help us out and help yourself to some great journalism at rebelnewsplus.com.